Welcome to the Bambushi Happy Hours Traitors Season 3, Episode 1 to 3 breakdown. I am Peju Bambushi Roethlisberger.
Hi, everyone, and I'm Naomi Bambushi.
And thank you guys for joining us. As you know, before we did our cast breakdown, and now we're getting into the actual episodes, and we're going to break down episodes 1 to 3. And as always, we like to start off with a nice little toast for Traitors, but I think we should do a toast to our lovely host, Mr. Alan Cummings.
Okay, let's lift our glasses to Alan Cummings and Traitors, Season 3. Long life, prosperity, health, wealth, and happiness to Alan Cummings and Traitors. Salud.
Salud. All right, now, as we know, the first 3 episodes got off to a wild ride, a lot of drama, betrayal, and chaos, as always, which you're always excited to see. In episode 1 called Let Battle Commence, the stakes are set and the drama is pretty high. Now, we have some reality show stars from Survivor, Big Brother, the Real Housewives franchises, RuPaul's Drag Race, and The Bachelor, and more. And just kind of breaking down all of the cast members, we can kind of go into them a little bit more because we're actually seeing them. Before, we didn't really know much about how they would act in the game. We have Boston Rob Mariano. What are your thoughts on him now, seeing him in action?
I don't know too much about him. This is the first time I've seen him. I'm not really sure. His reputation precedes him, that he is a cunning player.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that he is. People both respect and fear his prowess. I'm not sure what he's from. Is he from Big Brothers or Survivors?
He's from Survivor.
Okay, well, good.
Survivor.
So he's an interesting character,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he'll step up as he sees fit, in his own best interest.
Okay. All right. And we'll get more into what happens to him. But we also have Dorinda Medley, who now we saw who is from the Real Housewives of New York. Now, Dorinda, we didn't really get to see a whole lot from her, but what we did see, she's pretty fiery.
That's exactly the word I was thinking. Dorinda came in with the fire. She was open, she was honest, but she also drew some negative attention to herself.
Correct. Now we have Chrishell Stause. Everyone knows her from Selling Sunset. And then she was also married to Justin Hartley. And Chrishell, she came in her little cute little outfit and everything. But I don't think Chrishell is really going to take too much mess from people. What do you think, Mom?
That we shall see. I don't know. It's too early to tell. I don't know what kind of game player she is. I know in real life she's very flexible, fluid, whatever. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play itself out under these circumstances. I really can't call it. I don't know, because based on the TV show she's in, it isn't exactly competitive in the same way.
Right.
So I'm not really sure. And plus, I don't know how successful she is.
Yeah.
Her career. I don't know. I'm going to leave that as a big wild card. I'm going to say Chrishell is a wild card.
Okay. We have Brittany Haynes from Big Brother and also Big Brother Reindeer Games. And
Mm.
I don't know how I feel about Brittany. Brittany
Oh,
has a big mouth.
yeah, and Brittany is a whiner, a complainer. I think Brittany is a wee bit cutthroat, though. I think
Yeah.
she tries to disguise it, but really, she's pretty cutthroat.
Yeah. And of course, we have Miss Danielle Reyes, who is an OG from Big Brother. She was on Big Brother twice, and then she came back for Reindeer Games. Now, Danielle is known to be one of the first villains, of the Big Brother franchise. And she's a fan favorite, but she was a villain because she was, so talking to some of her contestants and, some of her fellow housemates, and she was acting so sweet and so nice. And then cut to the diary room, she was talking all bad about him and had all,
Yeah,
Just different
Well,
personality.
well, we know that. We know that because she's showing some signs of that here
Yeah.
already. I do know she has one ally, quote unquote, as much of an ally as you can have in
Hmm.
the Trader House, and
Hmm.
that would be Derrick.
Yeah.
And
And we'll get to
Derrick.
Derrick too.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to rule into Derrick. I'm just saying, as far as Danielle is concerned, but Danielle, it's, I'm not going to say too much, except Danielle to me is getting a little nervous. She's acting a little jittery to me.
Yeah. She's talking too much.
Yes.
Yes. And I don't think she's as good of an actress as she thinks she is. You know, her crying and all that. To me, it seemed very phony.
All right.
And then we have Bob, the drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race. And
Oh,
I'm
I love Bob. I think he brings so much energy and life because he's funny, he's sweet, he's showy, he's ostentatious, and he's cunning. He,
yes.
he's everything all in one. And I think he's really, I'm surprised I liked him as much as I do, because I just wrote him off as being, another frivolous guest like the rest of them, But he is really bringing life to the program as far as
He
I'm concerned.
he
He's
really is.
yeah.
He really, really, truly is. I'm really enjoying him. I think that he's doing a lot too, though, because he's drawing a lot of attention to his play.
You know what? But the thing about it, I don't think he can help it. I
Well,
think that's who he is. I don't think that's even strategy that he's so extra. I think
yeah,
he that person. Yeah.
yeah. Now we have Wells Adams, who was in The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise, and Wells,
The model.
the
Is
mom.
that the model? Oh no, that's Sam. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up Sam. Sam is the model.
Yeah, you make sense. Yeah, Wells.
Mhm.
Wells, to me, didn't make much of an impression. He was okay. I didn't really, connect with him at any type of level. He was pretty quiet.
Wells, let me recall because I don't have notes or anything in front of me. Let me recall. Wells was a cage boy. He was one of the cage boys.
No, he was not.
He was not one of the cage boys.
It's not one of the Cage Boys.
Cage boys were Rob, Derrick, and
And Wes.
Wes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
Wes.
yes,
Okay,
yes. Yeah, it's okay if you don't remember Wells. It's for a reason.
yeah. Well,
N-
I do know. I do know. Some things about a Wells moving forward.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. Next we have Miss Iron of well, she goes by Chanel Iron, but on the show they just called her Iron, and she's from the Real Housewives of Dubai. And
And
she,
I liked her.
yeah, she reminded me of Iman a little bit. Her look,
Yes, yes, you're a very similar bone structure.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
yes, she's
Very attractive.
funny, pretty.
Yes. Well,
Yeah, well, we'll move on. Then we have Gabby Wendy from The Bachelorette, and I was okay with Gabby. I think Gabby thinks she knows
Gabby was one
more
that
than she
referred to
does.
herself as a doe-eyed and
Hmm.
lesbian or whatever. Is that her?
Well, I guess I don't know if she's a lesbian now. I don't know if she refers to herself as a lesbian
Well,
now.
she said that's how I knew she was a lesbian because she said I'm
Okay.
a lesbian.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just making sure. Yeah.
Yes, she
Yeah.
had been the Bachelorette,
Correct.
and somebody said to her, "How did that work out for you?" She says, "Oh, well, I'm a lesbian now," and she
Correct.
fell out laughing.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
okay,
So
all right.
nah.
I don't know about the doe-eyed part, and she's got a big mouth, Gabby. But let's see what she brings. So far, she's not negative. I'm going to say that about her. So far, she's kind of neutral, but a little bit on the mouthy side.
Mhm.
Quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And next we have Dylan Efron. And Dylan is the brother of Zac Efron. And Dylan is proven to be a pretty good player. He's a little bit off with one of his guesses, which
Yeah, but he's a little bit smart too.
he is. He has really clocked Bob the drag queen.
Absolutely. And no matter what Bob says to try to dispel, the rumors and Dylan's thoughts, Dylan is kind of fixated on, yeah, I hear you, Bob, but my gut is telling me something different.
Right, right. He also believes that Robyn Dixon from the Real Housewives of Potomac is a traitor, but he's, obviously off key with that.
Right.
But overall, I think he is pretty smart.
Well, yeah, well, because listen, so he at least he got one right. I mean, there's not that many traitors, and everybody else seems to be getting them all wrong.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Now we have Tony Vlachos, who is from the Survivor, and he won Survivor twice. So he is definitely a legend and an OG of the game. We know Tony is a very tough player, and we know that people automatically think that he's a traitor. He just
And even if they don't think he's a traitor, they think he's a threat.
right,
Yeah, when you come in with that kind of reputation, you're just targeted from the very beginning. You
right.
know, and not many people survive that very long when they come in with those strong reputations.
Hmm.
Mm, you got
So,
you got to spend your whole time trying to dispel that.
oh,
You
for
know,
sure, for
so, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Next, we have Jeremy Collins, who also was from Survivor. I think Jeremy Collins won one season of Survivor, if I'm not mistaken, and he appears to be pretty smart. But I think that he's trusting the wrong people. We'll get into it a little bit more.
Right. So it's a mixed bag from him.
Right,
He's honed in on one correct person. He's
right,
identified one person correctly, but he's surrounded by a whole lot of other sharks.
right, right.
So let's just
Let's
see.
see how that.
But he did receive a vote of confidence from someone who gave him a shield.
Yes, and he had a shield twice, actually. So, yeah.
Yes. So, so he has some reason to be a little trusting towards certain people.
Right. And then we have Dolores Cantina, who is a real housewife of New Jersey. And Dolores, I didn't really get much from her yet.
Not yet. Not yet. She's been playing a minor role so far.
Right.
Not stand out from her. Not yet. But it's early on now.
Early on, yeah.
Right.
Of course, I mentioned earlier Robyn Dixon, who's a real housewife of Potomac, and she I don't think that she's reading things well. I'm not really.
And she's very vocal.
She's very vocal.
Yeah, for her to be so off.
Off.
No, yeah, yeah.
So,
She seems very committed to the things she's saying, but she's really off.
but
Okay.
but her being off, it will probably help her.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
helps. That's right. It helps her. It
Yeah.
helps her from being targeted. Right.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Bob Harper, who I was, it's good to see Bob. We hadn't seen Bob in a while. Bob is basically pretty nice. I don't know about his reads though.
He hasn't read anything right so far.
Right.
Once again, I'm going to preface everything by saying it's early on, but at this point, he has not identified anything correctly.
No.
No. Mm-hmm.
And then we have Miss Sierra Miller from Summer House, who was kind of quiet, but is speaking up a little bit more. I can't really tell what type of player she is yet.
Right.
But she just is questioning things, but not really strong in any conviction yet.
Right. And she's not really confronting or opposing anyone. See,
Right.
that's when the stakes get high, when you start identifying and step out.
Right.
And, so yeah, but that hasn't happened with Miss Sierra yet. And I don't know her from Summer House. So,
Me neither. Yeah. Then we have Lord Ivor, who we know is a British royal. And I don't know about his reads either. I know he has a big mouth.
Yeah, they called him the FSG. No, FGS. Wait a minute. No, the FGR. Okay, got it.
Oh, the first gay royal?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Love it.
Dubbed that title by Bob.
By Bob. Right,
Right.
right.
Which was so cute. I thought it was so cute. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have Caroline Weiger from Survivor. And I did not know Caroline. Caroline just seems like a jittery mess, though.
She certainly is. I don't know if she's taking too much drugs or she needs more drugs or whatever's going on, but she seems like she's about to fly out of the window every minute. But you know what? Here's the thing. I
Mhm.
think she's always like that. I
Yeah.
don't I don't think that her personality has changed to
Mhm.
indicate anything that she's a faithful or a traitor because
Right.
it's her behavior. That's the thing also uh with Bob, the drag queen. The only thing about Bob was running around so busy and so nosy. But once again, I think that's his personality. But he's running around trying to find out what everybody else thinks. So
Right.
he's just drawing attention to himself.
Right.
So
Right.
more so than usual.
Than usual, right? So then we have Sam Asghari, and we know that he is the model slash actor and ex of Britney Spears.
Right,
Uh,
right.
I don't know what to think about him yet. It's still too early on.
We haven't seen much of his personality or strategy or anything yet. We don't know what's going to be. People are just asking him questions about being married to Britney. Um,
Right.
which is
And I
has
don't think he could say much either.
absolutely not. I would hope that he wouldn't get on there and disparage Britney. That would not be a good look for him.
No. Okay, now we have Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules, and everybody knows him as the infamous ex of Ariana Madix, who hosts Love Island USA now. Listen, I don't know if this may not be a nice thing to say, but Tom comes on there and he has a look on his face that seems like a caricature. Like you don't know if he's frightened or if he's just being like nosy, or cuckoo. He doesn't have a look on his face like a sensible person. Maybe that's just not a nice thing to
Right.
say.
Right.
And he's gunning for Chriselle because supposedly Chriselle is friends with Ariana.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know. And
well,
he has bad reads. Bad.
yeah. Yeah. Let's just see what, because he's coming in as a kind of a villain already.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see much. I see him as being an easy target for them to ban, you know, or murder or whatever they want to do. Banish, right? He gets banishment or murder. He seems like an easy target just because, we don't really care for him. So either way, let him go. You know, we'll see.
Yeah. And then we have Nikki Garcia, aka formerly Nikki Bella, one of the Bella twins, and she was a WWE wrestler and also engaged to John Cena. Nikki, not good reads from her either. Let's see how she continues to play, but so far,
What I can say from Nikki is that she comes in with a reputation of being strong physically, and she
mhm.
makes it well in the what do we call them, challenges or
Yeah,
games, so forth. She comes across as a person who could meet the physical challenges well, you know.
right.
Because of her background, we're in the WWE, and
Mhm.
she stayed in good physical shape, from all appearances. So
Mhm.
she comes in with that as an asset. Strategically, I don't know where we going with her because I haven't seen or heard anything. Only a few people have really stepped up and stood out, and
Right,
she's not one of them. Not yet. She
right,
sort of blended in. You know,
right.
yeah.
Now we can talk about the two other players that came in. It's really not necessarily in order, but just to get a full scope of the cast. That's Wes up from the challenge, Wes Bergmann. And I've seen Wes on a couple of shows, really the challenge a couple of times, and he's a very fierce, cutthroat competitor. And he's been going at it for about maybe 15 years or longer in those shows. Um,
Okay.
and then we have Derrick from Big Brother, and Derrick is known as one of the goats of Big Brother. He also, I know you didn't probably see this season, but he was on the first season with Cody, and then Frankie Grande, Ariana Grande's brother.
Brother, I remember Frankie from
And
the reindeer games.
right, right. And so, and Cody was on Reindeer Games too. Cody was on.
Yes, he's a cop. Am I right? Is he the one? Not
Derrick is the cop.
Derek. Cop. I mean
Yeah.
Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so the season that Derrick won, he partnered up with Cody and they called each other the Hitmen. And Derrick hid from Cody that he was a detective. He never told his partner that. And also, Cody had the opportunity to choose between Derrick and somebody else to take to the final two. And Cody chose to take Derrick to the final two. Had Cody not taken Derrick to the final two, Cody would have probably won. But Derrick had the master plan, had Cody under his spell so much, he didn't realize that he would lose to Derrick in the final two. So Derrick's a very cunning, smart player, is what I wanted to
Well,
say.
when you come in with that reputation, people just want to get rid of you. When you come into the traitor with that reputation, they just want to get rid of you.
Well, you would think that, Ma. How
Unless or either they either want to get rid of you or want to partner with you.
right. And that's where we come in where they decide on the traitors. And so we know three of the traitors are Bob the drag queen, Caroline Weiger, and Danielle Reyes. So those are the three original traitors. And Danielle Reyes is from Big Brother, and she likes Derrick and wants to work with Derrick.
That's right. But go ahead.
And then the fourth traitor, and that comes in a little bit later, but that's Bob. Now we know that not Bob, Boston Rob. Boston Rob.
Right.
Right. So the first mission has the contestants like paddling what is it, like a dragon shaped boat, and they're aiming to collect money filled with pontoons. And then, sacrifices have to be made. They have to, so players have to volunteer to be left aside so that they can, but they have to give up their shields in order to help other players advance. And originally, Dorinda did that, and Ian did it. And eventually, Bob the drag queen and Danielle Reyes did it. Now, they did it because nobody else would do it. So that obviously puts targets, especially on the first two people. So any thoughts on that, Ma, before we continue?
No thoughts on it because it could flip either way. Either
Okay.
it could work for them or against them. It cuts both ways, and
Okay.
that's how it's been perceived for the most part.
And so Dorinda gets voted off early. She is very fiery in the boardroom.
Yeah, well, Dorinda was left out there floating in the cold. She's
Yeah.
one of the other ones who also got off. Remember when people had to disembark because
Yes, that's what I said, man.
yeah, well, I don't know if you mentioned Dorinda was one of the ones that was left out there for so long. And when they were finally rescued, and brought back to the castle, there was hardly any food even for them. The other people had already eaten.
Mhm.
And, they felt like they made a lot of sacrifices and nobody cared. And Dorinda just lit right into everybody.
And they didn't go after the other money. They got like 20 out of 40,000.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 15 out of 20, but whatever. Yeah, but it doesn't even matter. They did not go to collect the other money because they were tired. Or
Yeah.
something insignificant like that. So Dorinda was really upset, and she knew, even though she was breathing fire at all of them, she knew the real thing was they didn't care. They just wanted to go for the money.
Mhm.
And that was it. And they didn't care because they always knew that they didn't know who the traitor was. And Dorinda took it as though, oh, why didn't people trust her? They knew she wasn't a traitor. They knew she wasn't faithful. But they didn't know that. They didn't know that.
Well,
So
that's true that they didn't know. Yeah.
and but she was talking to them as if they did. Like you all know me, and how could you do that to me? They could easily do it to you if they think it's going to enhance their chances of getting $250,000. They can
Right.
easily do it to you.
Right.
And I understand her being angry, but I don't understand why she wasn't understanding. This is the game. You take your chances, and it falls how it falls.
Right. Right. I agree with you on that. It was so
So I didn't want her to go, but it seemed as if she was taking the game someplace that she shouldn't have taken it because she understood it was going to be uncomfortable. That's why nobody wanted to volunteer to do it.
she was being too messy too quick.
Yeah.
The episode ended with her, leaving. And then the players, they started, to suspect each other. And Robyn Dixon, another housewife, a lot of people were wondering why she didn't react. She seemed to have not much of a reaction when Dorinda was murdered. And so that kind of like, threw people off. People were like, oh,
Well,
was she secretly
well,
a
you know
traitor?
what? I don't know where it was throwing them, but I'll tell you one thing, they was reading it wrong.
They were reading it wrong. Then we start off with episode 2, which is Revenge is a Dish Best Served Cold. Now, of course, we have some new faces and new drama that come in, and that is, Rob returns for this episode. Wes is introduced from the challenge, and Derrick is introduced from Big Brother. Now, they enter, all three of them enter the game with shields, meaning that they can't be eliminated immediately. And a lot of people are
First day or first night or whatever.
right. And so they can give
Yeah,
these
sure.
shields to whomever they want to. Also, Rob enters the game as a traitor. We don't know, well, the fellow traitors don't know that he's a traitor in the beginning. They find out, at night that he's a traitor. So
Right.
now, instead of 3 traitors, we have 4. And I think this is the most traitors that they've ever had.
Right. And we have 4, then they added 2 more to the cast, to the
more to the
face.
cast, correct.
Right, right, yeah. So
Right.
okay.
So, and then for this murder, unfortunately, they were undecided about where they wanted to go. But I know Danielle was thinking the Housewives, and I think Bob was thinking Housewives, but I don't think Caroline was necessarily thinking Housewives. And I could not tell what Rob was thinking. I do know that they did not want Rob in the game, period. But Danielle seemed to feel better that Rob was a traitor and not a faithful because he was,
Right.
on
She
her
interpreted
side.
it that way. Right,
Right,
right.
right, right. So they decided on another housewife, and that was Ian. And I really liked Ian. I thought Ian was really funny
Why
and
did her
sweet.
to have to leave so early? And she was showing some personality, She was bringing
Yeah.
some energy to the show. So I didn't want her to have to leave so soon. But well, okay.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
They were trying to decrease the housewives numbers because
Yes,
there were a lot of housewives. Yeah.
yes. And they remember how great that
Phaedra.
Phaedra did last season. Yeah. Okay. And then at the round table, we see Wells Adams was banished. There was, back and forth that was going on there. Bob, the drag queen, kind of led the charge against Wells, trying to deflect Target and Robin because Bob likes Robin and Robin likes Bob. She's like, he is absolutely not a traitor. No, 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 no.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so, people are thinking, what's going on? What's going on? We start with episode 3, and this is called Nail in the Coffin. And so there's a funhouse mission that's going on. It's a really weird, bizarre challenge. It involves like navigating a maze filled with killer clowns and other obstacles and a gold balloon. And none of the teams succeed in completing the mission. So that
Right.
means
They didn't win any of that money that was up for grabs.
no money. Yep. So we get to see, some of the, different personalities, obviously with Wes. He didn't recognize most of the cast, which was really funny. And we see somebody get the boot in this episode who a lot of people wouldn't have expected because they all were against him and at the round table, and that is Mr. Tony, right? Tony from Survivor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how they flipped the script, but what happened? I think what really made them say, Tony, you need to go because Tony, if I'm not mistaken, didn't
Boston Rob.
yeah because Boston Rob gave Tony a shield, and
Yep.
then Tony never showed any type of camaraderie or appreciation, and more to the point, he just really ignored Rob after that. He
Yep.
didn't talk to Rob, although Rob protected him, and
Hmm.
by him having an attitude of ingratitude, you see what it got him.
Right, right. And
He
so that,
showed something, and I think that's what really did it. That's what really did it. He not having any other conversation after Rob was good to him.
mhm.
Saved him at least a night. So hey,
And
oh
then I think that messed him up. Couple of observations that we forgot to mention. Danielle had been in the mouth of Jeremy from Survivor.
yeah, Jeremy put it out there. He
Yeah.
said, I don't want to put it out there, but I really believe, and that's where we say Jeremy is pretty insightful there.
Yeah, he's in danger because he goes and tells it to Bob the drag queen, and Bob the drag queen came back and told
And
Danielle, so Danielle knows now.
right, absolutely. That's the risk you take, you know.
And Bob the drag queen also knows that Dylan,
Jeremy, Jeremy likes
Bob the drag queen,
Queen, yeah. So
yeah,
it's yeah.
and Dylan, has been saying Bob the drag queen is suspicious, and we know how that is working. We'll
The
see.
only yeah, the only one they haven't really named is Carolyn. They
No,
have not yet.
not yet. No, because she, kind of lays low. So Ma, we know that there are three, is it three or four people? I think it's three.
Potential in the coffin
Three.
scenario. I
Yes,
think they said three.
they
Three,
said three.
yeah, three tentative, and among the three, only one is gonna go. But
Right.
they're gonna put up three.
Right. And they could put up a traitor if they want, but I think they're deciding not to do that. I don't think they think that's going to work out.
Because just in case, one, because we know for sure one of the three is going home, so they don't want to put any traitor at risk right now.
Well, the traitor can't be murdered. A traitor can only be banished.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
right.
Oh what's the whole reason for them not wanting to risk a traitor? He's not
Because
being
they think that it'd be suspicious still
just
that
right.
right.
Okay, okay, I got you.
Okay, so who's on the hot seat? I'm gonna say Jeremy is probably on the hot seat. Dylan will probably be, Efron will probably be on the hot seat. Robyn is on the hot seat because Robyn has bad takes. Um, Bob the drag queen, and Danielle, but I think that they're both of them are gonna calm down a little bit. I'm thinking because they've been warned
Okay, you mean with their behavior?
with their behavior, yeah. And I
Okay,
think Tom Sandoval, I think people just don't like him.
okay, okay.
I don't know about any thoughts about who you think's on the hot seat.
Um, I don't know. I would think on the hot seat would be. I'm thinking Bob, the drag queen. I'm thinking is on the hot seat. Uh, I'm thinking Gabby might be on the hot seat because she thinks she's so doe-eyed and innocent.
Oh yeah.
And somebody might be flipping the script and thinking something different. Um, I can't, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go wild card with Sierra because all these people laying in the cut saying nothing, I don't trust them. I don't
Right.
trust them either. I mean, it's just to me, it's all, they can all get it. So I would go for some of the ones who haven't been so vocal and haven't been named and haven't stood out because I expect you to be involved, period. If any extreme behavior, I'm looking at you sideways.
Hmm.
The best thing is kind of moderate behavior. If you're not questioning anything, never saying anything, what's going on?
I
That
agree.
that means to me you're thinking. That means to me you laying in the cut doing a lot of thinking. So I don't know. You know what I mean? So I would bring out some of those that we haven't heard as much from.
Well, what I will.
The one that we heard a lot from,
Mhm.
and then I bring out a couple that we haven't heard as much from.
Well, you know what? I've been enjoying. I really enjoyed so far the first three episodes. The only thing I will say is I wish that Ian didn't go because to me she has a really good personality, and maybe one of those other people, they could have switched her out because she was just really funny to me. But everybody can't stay.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. As time goes on, we'll see. I can tell you somebody that is my favorite already, and that's Bob the drag queen. To
Oh,
me, just like I said, I connected with him a lot, and I think he has good energy. I think he has sweet energy and cutthroat energy. I think he has both, and so I really like him, and I think he brings it. And he talks, he's
mhm.
sociable, and everything. So I really like him. Some of the other personalities just seem not as friendly. too scared, too timid, too guarded. I mean, you're gonna play the game, you gotta play the game.
Hmm.
Something like Sheree was last year. I mean, Sheree was there, but Sheree to me was never a really active participant.
Sheree from the Housewives for the guys. Yeah.
Sheree from the Housewives from season 2 on the Traitors. And I didn't like the way she played the game.
Yeah.
You know, she
She
didn't
was
really
too passive. She was just like a floater.
absolutely, and just hoping not to be sent home, and to me, that's not the game. The game's supposed to be a little more proactive. I don't like those kind of players in any of these games.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far. Uh,
Very exciting. So far, so good. It is very exciting.
so, guys, stay tuned for more recaps every week. Listen to our regular podcast, The Bambushi Happy Hour, streaming on all platforms every Thursday and some Sundays. Thank you for listening again to the Traitors Season 3 recap. We will be back soon. Take care. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out full episodes of the Bambushi Happy Hour podcast, streaming on most platforms.